I'm Arshi, and I'm going to tell you 3 ways that we can procrastinate better, according to Oliver Burkeman. Okay, and I will say that number 3 genuinely blew my mind, and that's what got me to make this video. The whole point of this book is just like every moment that you're on earth, like right now, you're watching me, is a moment of your life that you will never get it back. Like, we have outsourced our lives to consuming content. We're not present the way we once were with each other. Instead, we are like all glued to our phones, right? But anyway, so this chapter that I'm reading is about procrastination, which is funny because I'm procrastinating by reading it. Okay, but I read something that like made me feel so crazy and insane. Procrastination is not something that we should actually be afraid of, because at any given moment of our lives, we are procrastinating on like 10 bajillion things, right? Like, because I'm talking to a camera and telling you what I learned, I am not like talking to my best friend who's in the other room. I am not filing my taxes. I am not updating my website. I am not cleaning my room. But that's okay, because what I'm doing is worthwhile, right? Like, so the important thing is that we need to realize that whatever we're doing at the moment must be something worthwhile, right? Like, we want to be living our lives doing only things that are worthwhile to us. So in order to live a life that only contains things that we actually want to be doing, we have to master what Burkeman calls the art of creative neglect. And the idea for that is that you're going to have to not do something in order to do the things you want to do. So Burkeman says that the real measure of any time management technique is whether or not it helps you neglect the right things. It's kind of like how your no strengthens your yes, right? Like, if you say yes to everything, it's like you said yes to nothing, and then you're a people pleaser and then you don't get anything done, right? So you have to say no to some things in order to say yes to other things, because time is finite. We only have about 4,000 weeks of it. So the first principle of creative neglect is paying yourself first. So the way that works, like financially, is just like you have to like put your money, and this obviously like only works if you're like making enough money to do this, but like the idea is that you would put some of your money into savings, you forget about it, you spend the rest of your money like on the stuff that you acutely need, right? So this is also a principle with time, right? Like, the idea is like, if there's something that's really important to you, even if you have a million things that are really important to you, if there's one thing that's like important to you that is hard for you to do, you have to make time to do it like as soon as possible, even if it means that doing that thing is going to cause you to like neglect other things. You have to just like pay yourself first, right? Like, you have to like put that time in the bank and then do other stuff. It's why a lot of people wake up and exercise. So Burkeman says, if a certain activity really matters to you, a creative project, though it could just as easily be nurturing a relationship or activism in the service of some cause, the only way to be sure it will happen is to do some of it today, no matter how little and no matter how many other genuinely big things may be begging for your attention. So if you need to start drawing, you start drawing for an hour or two every day and accept the consequences of having made that time. So Burkeman got this idea from a graphic novelist named Jessica Abel. And what she says about this is, if you don't save a bit of your time for you now out of every week, there is no moment in the future where you will magically be done with everything and have loads of free time. If you don't make time for yourself now, you will never make time for yourself. If you don't make time for that thing that's important to you now, like, you're not going to just like get done with everything and then suddenly have time to record an album, right? So the second principle of creative neglect is limiting your work in progress. And so there, Burkeman goes on to describe that a really tempting way to like not face the fact that you have finite time on this earth is to have tons and tons of projects, like tons of little things that you're putting your attention into. And the idea is like, okay, like I have a lot going on, so like I'll just make progress on everything little by little. But what ends up happening is that you don't make progress on anything really, because everything is kind of the same priority. And as soon as something gets frustrating, you can just be like, I'm out. I'm tapping out. I'm going to go learn the fiddle now, right? Like, because you're not, like, every single time that things get a little bit scary, you can just hop out, right? So the solution to this is to do no more than 3 things at a time. Or it doesn't have to be 3. It could be whatever number you decide. But the idea here is that you can't have a list of like endless things to do if you only have 3 priorities. My bestie is in the other room practicing or like studying for an exam, and she's a really good person for this kind of thing. Like, she will just decide that she's studying for her test and like all of her spare time when she's not at work is her studying for her test. She only has 3 priorities. 1 is like, do your work. 2 is study for the test. And 3 is like social life, self-care, right? And if things have to be dropped in order for like these top 2 things to happen, like that's just gonna have to happen. But the reason that works is that the goal can be finished and then another thing can fill its place, right? Okay, the last part is the one that like really, really surprised me. Resist the allure of middling priorities. I'm going to say that again, just like in case people missed it, but like resist the allure of middling priorities. So this parable is attributed to Warren Buffett, but it was probably said by someone else. So the story goes that Warren Buffett's pilot asked him for advice on how to set his life priorities. So Buffett tells him to make a list of the top 20 to 25 things that he wants out of life. Like, does he want to start a family? Does he want to start a business? Does he want to become a really religious person? Does he want to climb a mountain? Like, whatever. You have to rank them in order of how much you want that thing. So you might think that he's like, okay, so just do all those things in that order. But actually what Buffett, apparently, if it was him who said it, he said you pick the top 5 things that you want to do, and then the remaining 20 or so priorities are not like the thing that you should just do if you get around to. They're actually the ones you should actively avoid because your ambitions insufficiently important to him to form the core of his life, yet seductive enough to distract him from the ones that matter most. This blew my mind. Okay, doesn't that low-key make you like upset? Like that made me mad. So a lot of times like we think that saying no to things means saying no to things we don't want to do. And he quotes Elizabeth Gilbert in saying that you actually have to learn how to say no to things that you do want to do with the recognition that you only have one life. I hate that so much. Anyway, let me know what you think about this, and let me know if you want me to read more parts of this book to you.